Hey all, it's Hunter. I've got some free time because, well, the earth is on fire and it's really hot outside, so I get to stay inside and watch all my movies all day. Isn't that what we all want? Well, actually, it's kind of more fun to just stare at the stuff on the wall sometimes. So let's take a look at my collection. What the hell is this? Who put a DVD on my shelf? Oh, that's right, I did, because this is out of print and it's really, really expensive. We all like to say, you know, we care about what's on the inside of the box. We care about what the on-disc content looks like and all of that. And then sometimes you look at packaging and you go, yeah, actually, I kind of care about the packaging just as much in the case of something like a box set or a special edition. And I love watching movies or playing video games or whatever else. And I know I joke, I kid, and I say, haha, it's, you know, just as much fun to watch all this stuff as it is to actually stare at it on your shelf or put it on your shelf. But in reality, for collectors, for people that are loving collecting, that is part of the fun. It's like if you're playing Warhammer 40K, part of the fun is painting the figures and playing the game. This is the equivalent of painting our figures. I'm painting my shelf. This is my art behind me. Now, obviously, that's crazy, but still, that's what we're here for as collectors. And so when you're looking at physical media packaging, let's go through the history of plastic. Yes, we're going through the history of plastic / cardboard, because there are some cardboard things here. But let's start off with something special with, I've got 400 copies of The Thing on Blu-ray, 4K, whatever. No, not The Thing as in the movie, as in The Thing being all of these things behind me. So this isn't going to be your conventional history of physical media. I don't own a Betamax tape. I don't own those weird vinyl-shaped things that you used to stick into a movie and pull the cover off. I used to. I had Chuck Norris's Good Guys Were Black on my shelf for a long time as just a piece of sort of art, Death Wish 2, stuff like that. I don't own any of that stuff anymore, but the oldest thing that I do own is a VHS copy of Roadhouse. Yes, I love this movie, so let's dive into the packaging on VHS tapes. So when you're looking at a VHS tape and you're just holding it in your hands and you're sort of feeling it, that is really at the heart of it. And I, you know, all joking aside, holding something like this and feeling it and looking at it with your own eyes, that's why we do this. That's why we love physical media. That's why we love collecting. And just the smell of it, you know, it smells old. And you pull off this VHS cover. VHS tapes are the best part, or the best for this. They take up the most amount of space, but they look the best on a shelf. And you open it up and you look at this VHS tape and you realize, hey, wait, the last asshole who watched this movie didn't rewind it. And that's really the problem with VHS, is that you have to rewind it and the tape degrades. And I know there's people out there that want to scream their heads off about disc rot. Well, if you take care of your stuff and you're not just walking around going, this copy of Near Dark, let me just throw it there, right there. Future Hunter's got to worry about that one. If you take care of your stuff, you're not going to get disc rot anytime soon. I know this because there's copies of DVDs that are older than some people watching this video. There are CDs out there that are older than me. I own some of them that are perfectly fine and working if you keep good care of them. VHS tapes, on the other hand, the tape inside, once moisture gets in there and everything, it's really hard to fix the rot of the actual tape itself. So if you're collecting VHS, just know that. But looking at this tape, you know, holding this physical plastic hunk in your hand, and most VHS tapes look like this anyway. They're black or they're orange if you had those old Nickelodeon VHS tapes. But they have a label, and you can see the windows into the tape, which is kind of funny because you have to see if it's rewound or not. It has this weird serial number on the side here, and then these pegs for rewinding or fast forwarding or whatever. Other than Laserdisc, it really is the best kind of way to watch a movie if you want to go scene by scene, frame by frame, whatever. Now, obviously, you can do that with taking images of DVDs or 4Ks or Blu-rays or whatever. But VHS, there's something nice about it. And then also, you know, just the thunk of what you put on your shelf is really nice. Now, I own Roadhouse on 4K and Blu-ray, and I spent $20 on this because it makes a better thud sound when I put it on my shelf. And my name is Hunter, and this is a Physical Media Anonymous, and I have a problem. Skipping forward, we've got DVDs, and I've got a DVD in my hand here. People out there love DVDs. They still sell really well. And this is Near Dark on DVD, and I own it because the Blu-ray is ridiculously expensive, out of print, whatever. The cover for that one is awful. But looking at this DVD and looking at the inside of it, it really offends my sensibilities because, well, there's nothing on the inside, and this is a cheap as crap case. Taking a look at the inside of the case here, you can see it's very cheap plastic. It doesn't, it's got instructions on how to get the DVD out. You press, the center button and then click it back into place. And so something with media like this that I really like to do, besides smelling it when I open it, because there's something about that new physical media smell, is the click test. And yes, there is a test for seeing if your case is crappy enough or not. If you do the click test, and the click is not very loud and satisfying on opening or closing, here, I'll do it for you without me chattering. There's the open, here's the close. It's not very satisfying. It doesn't feel like it. And that's really the hallmark of a crappy DVD case. And you can see that with plenty of DVDs out there because DVDs are cheap to produce. The discs are insanely cheap. It's cheap to put a movie on it and throw it out there. And so most studio releases will have nicer cases, but this one really does not have a nice case. There was a reason why this was $13 brand new. Now for a little video game action, and you can look at video games. I look at video games in the same way that I do movies and TV shows and everything. So coming up, we have an Xbox 360 case, and they're green, which is great. They're translucent, even though Microsoft sort of cheapened out later in the Xbox 360's life on making the cases not translucent. And Assassin's Creed 2, which you can find a dime a dozen. Looking at this case right here, you can look at the click test here. Let's do it. So here's the open. Nice and satisfying. Here's the close. Perfect. Perfect case. Xbox 360 cases are great. They don't break, they don't chip, they don't crack. They're just tanks, and it's wonderful that your disc inside is protected. And looking at these come with a manual, and that's really awesome that these games come with a manual. Older games will come with bigger manuals, and then the further you go back, you get actual novels coming with your books or whatever. It's a shame that these days we don't have manuals in our video games. It's just, oh, it's a digital thing, it's a QR code, and that's what we're losing with video games. And video games in particular need a lot more protection for physical media people out there. They don't need people like me screaming from the rooftops about how you need to protect physical media when it's coming to movies. Video games, however, are a dying breed. They are endangered. I did a whole video about this. And places like limited run games, they make it worse for video games. So if you're not educated out there and you do give a crap about video games, especially physical video games, then you need to start protecting those physical video games. So what about a 4K or a Blu-ray? So let's go with a Blu-ray here. Blu-ray cases are blue, obviously, so that you can tell the difference, so that stupid people like me know that this is a Blu-ray. They have this little logo up top here. Some of them have it embossed, some of them don't. But looking at this copy of Poltergeist 2, the other side from Scream Factory, this is a wonderful Blu-ray case. It's a nice, not cheapened out one. The logo is printed on there. Some of them have it so that it's raised, whatever. But let's do the click test. Open, close, perfect. Passes with flying colors. This one, it has, Scream Factory usually does have reversible covers so that you can put them on there. Now, if you have a slip cover, you can put the original art on the outside, or the inside, and the new commissioned art on the outside. That's usually what I do. But another thing about physical media packaging and cases is getting the disc out is a big thing. If you can't get the disc out easily, then it's kind of like, what the heck is the point? If I'm sitting here scratching and straining against my disc, that's going to be a problem because you're putting pressure on the disc and putting pressure on it, yada, 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 it ruins it. Now, Blu-rays, they have that special protective coating, so it's literally impossible to scratch them. It's not impossible. Don't try that at home. Don't take a Dremel out and try to go to your copy of Poltergeist 2, and now you're expecting me to do that because, well, I'm crazy, but I'm not going to do that. But yeah, Blu-rays, and then the art on the front, the way that a Blu-ray case is designed, there's minimal, just sort of Blu-ray stuff. It comes out right away. Oh, it's a blue case. It's got the little logo at the top. But there's nothing like video games where it's intruding on the actual artwork. And that's why I love collecting 4Ks and Blu-rays, because you get all the artwork on the front. You get all the stuff on the back. You get special features. You get images. You get whatever. Unlike this with video games, and you can look at something like here, like Paper Mario: The Thousand-Year Door on the Switch, this is what modern video games do. They have, this one is not as bad because the Switch logo is pretty tiny up here in the corner, but, look at the back of this thing. Looking at the back of this, it's crazy. There's We had video games in the 90s on Super Nintendo and N64 where the back was mostly art and stuff to get you to buy the frickin' game. Now, there's all this crap at the bottom that are warnings about how your Switch could explode, or if you have epilepsy, you could get seizures, or whatever. You can read the Nintendo health and safety instructions, and it's almost half of the back of the box. Compare that to something like a GameCube case, which is the gold standard for video game cases in physical media. These cases are tanks, and it passes the click test. Listen right here. Perfect. They're indestructible. And looking at the back of it, it's still got pictures, information, and stuff about the game. Yes, looking at the back of this, you can see, yeah, there's the percentages pretty close there, but it's got more information. The warnings are smaller. If you're playing video games and you get epilepsy and you have seizures, I'm not trying to offend you, but you should know at this point that video games have flashing lights and images. That's just what they are. And this is perfect because you get images that are not the same size as a stamp. You get a paragraph or two about the video game. So if you were shopping at GameStop back in the day and you picked up Star Fox Adventures off the shelf and you went, wow, this looks really weird. Is this supposed to be an N64 game that they ported over to the GameCube where there's some crazy fox lady that is hanging out with Star Fox and dinosaurs? Yes, that is exactly what Star Fox Adventures is, and you can only find that out by looking at the case. So when you're looking at stuff like this, it's the gold standard for video games. It really is. The GameCube is perfect. My favorite is a 4K. 4K boxes, 4K packaging, everything. It's the perfect balance because, well, 4K boxes have this logo at the top. It's a little bigger than the Blu-ray logo, but that Blu-ray logo does scratch off sometimes. You have differences and variances in Blu-ray cases. You can have cheaper ones, whatever. 4K, they're all the same case. So if you break your copy of From Beyond, which hopefully you don't, I would cry, you can just go buy a cheapo 4K from the store or from eBay or wherever and swap it out. That's the perfect thing, is that if you have a cheapo case on something you love, you can swap it out pretty easily, unlike video games where those old-style Sega CD cases are impossible to find in good condition now. GameCube cases are proprietary. PlayStation 2 cases are proprietary. 4K, they all look the same, so you can swap it out. And that's why, in the history of physical media, a history of plastic and cardboard, the 4K reigns supreme. If you're taking a look at the inside of your 4K and you're going, what is this crap around the disc? And you're going, oh my god, my disc is ruined. This is the worst day of my life. It's not. It's just part of the manufacturing process. You can wipe that off pretty easily. It comes off. It doesn't ruin your disc. But 4K discs, on the other hand, do not have that protective coating, so do not take a Dremel or a pencil or whatever to your 4K disc. We're going to wrap this up with 8K cases. And here's what I hope 8K cases are. I hope we don't get them because, well, 8K stuff, it's hard to get to. I've never even seen an 8K footage, but I hope we don't get 8K cases anytime soon because 4Ks, Blu-rays, DVDs, they're all good with me. Box designs are fascinating because outside of just the special edition stuff, the standard stuff, like the stuff we're showing, is designed to get you and I to buy it. If it has cool art or whatever, and the logos, all of it is designed by somebody to go into your eyeballs and come out with your money. And even when you're looking at boxes like this Ghostbusters box set or this Paramount Scares box set or that Scarface thing over there, those are all designed to get you to spend money on them and to buy them. This is, of course, unless they make a new version of something and it doesn't line up on the shelf properly. Hi, my name's Hunter. I'm in Physical Media Anonymous. I have a problem. I'm here to fix it.